When you picture our ancestors living in caves, what images come to mind? Perhaps you envision primitive humans huddled in dark holes, desperately hiding from predators. Yet the reality of cave life is far more captivating than these common misconceptions suggest. Recent archaeological discoveries are completely transforming our understanding of how our ancestors truly lived. The evidence reveals a sophisticated world that challenges everything we thought we knew about prehistoric cave dwellers. Picture this: prehistoric caves with distinct living spaces, each meticulously organized for specific purposes. Much like our modern homes, these caves had areas dedicated to cooking, sleeping, crafting tools, and even creating art. This level of organization suggests a complex social structure that existed tens of thousands of years ago. But here's something even more intriguing. Not all of our ancestors were cave dwellers at all. Archaeological evidence shows that many prehistoric humans constructed innovative shelters in open areas, using materials like mammoth bones and animal hides. These findings paint a picture of resourceful, adaptable beings rather than simple cave-dwelling primitives. The discoveries being made are nothing short of revolutionary. Archaeologists are uncovering evidence of sophisticated living arrangements, advanced tool-making workshops, and even designated spaces for spiritual and artistic expression. These findings suggest that our ancestors were not just surviving, they were creating communities and developing culture. Some caves have revealed remnants of what appears to be ancient interior design. Strategic placement of hearths for optimal heat distribution, designated areas for tool manufacturing, and even separate spaces for different social activities. This level of spatial awareness and organization rivals that of modern living spaces. Before we delve deeper into these fascinating mysteries of cave life, remember to subscribe to the Dawn of Humankind channel and activate notifications. Our journey through human prehistory is filled with remarkable discoveries that will forever change how you view our ancient ancestors. Join us as we uncover the true story of prehistoric cave life, a tale not of primitive survival, but of innovation, organization, and the dawn of human culture as we know it today. You'll never look at a cave the same way again. For over 400,000 years, caves have served as shelters for humanity, but their significance extends far beyond mere rocky refuges. These natural formations have been silent witnesses to the incredible journey of human evolution and development. The story of cave habitation begins in the Middle Pleistocene period, when our ancestors first began seeking shelter in these natural formations. The oldest confirmed cave dwelling sites, such as the Wonderwork Cave in South Africa, date back to approximately 1.8 million years ago, showing evidence of human occupation and tool use. From the limestone caves of southern France, with their magnificent Paleolithic art at Lascaux and Chauvet, to the rich archaeological sites of South Africa's cradle of humankind, each location tells a unique story. The caves of Zakutian in China house the famous Peking Man, while Brazil's caves in Lagoa Santa reveal secrets about the earliest Americans. These natural time capsules have preserved an extraordinary wealth of information about our ancestors' daily lives. The stable environment within caves has protected delicate artifacts, bones, and even ancient DNA that would have otherwise been lost to time. Each layer of sediment tells a story, from ancient hearths and tool-making sites to ritual spaces and burial grounds. In Europe, the caves of the Dordogne region in France have yielded some of the most spectacular findings. The famous cave of Altamira in Spain showcases the artistic capabilities of our ancestors through its stunning ceiling paintings, created over 35,000 years ago. These aren't just random marks on walls, they're sophisticated expressions of early human culture and spirituality. The caves of Southeast Asia, particularly in Indonesia, have revealed surprising evidence of advanced human capabilities. The discovery of sophisticated cave art in Sulawesi, dating back at least 45,500 years, has completely changed our understanding of when humans first began creating symbolic art. In Africa, caves have preserved crucial evidence of human evolution. The Rising Star Cave System in South Africa yielded the remarkable discovery of Homo naledi, adding another fascinating chapter to our family tree. Meanwhile, the Blombos Cave has provided evidence of sophisticated human behavior, including the earliest known drawing created by humans, dated to 73,000 years ago. These caves functioned as natural repositories, preserving not just artifacts but entire climatic and environmental records. Through careful analysis of cave deposits, scientists can reconstruct ancient environments, understanding how our ancestors adapted to changing climatic conditions over millennia. This global network of cave sites continues to yield new discoveries, each one adding another piece to the complex puzzle of human prehistory. They stand as testament to human ingenuity and adaptability, proving that our ancestors were far more sophisticated than previously thought. These aren't just holes in rocks, they're libraries of human history, preserving stories of survival, innovation, and cultural development that span hundreds of thousands of years. Each cave is a chapter in the grand narrative of human evolution, waiting to be read and understood by modern scientists. The first revelation that often surprises people is that prehistoric humans were incredibly versatile in their choice of habitation. While popular culture often depicts our ancestors as exclusive cave dwellers, archaeological evidence reveals a much more diverse and sophisticated approach to housing. These limestone and granite formations served as premium real estate in prehistoric times. Deep caves provided consistent temperature regulation, maintaining warmth in winter and coolness in summer. The most desirable caves featured elevated entrances offering strategic advantages, good visibility of the surrounding landscape, and protection from flooding. Notable examples include France's Lascaux Cave and Spain's El Castillo, where evidence suggests long-term habitation spanning thousands of years. Actually more common than deep caves, rock shelters were shallow overhanging cliffs or rock formations that provided basic protection from the elements. These locations offered several advantages over deep caves: better natural lighting, easier access, and improved ventilation. Famous examples like Abri de Cro-Magnon in France demonstrate how these shelters supported thriving communities for generations. Perhaps the most fascinating discovery is the sophistication of prehistoric open-air dwellings. In areas where caves weren't available, our ancestors displayed remarkable architectural ingenuity. In current-day Ukraine and Russia, archaeologists have uncovered remains of structures built using mammoth bones as foundation and support, with evidence suggesting covers made from hides and furs. These dwellings could span up to 20 feet in diameter and house extended family groups. In certain regions, particularly in colder climates, our ancestors created partially underground structures. These pit houses were dug into the ground and roofed with timber, earth, and animal hides. This design provided excellent insulation and protection from harsh weather conditions. Not all prehistoric dwellings were permanent. Seasonal hunting camps featured lightweight, portable structures similar to modern teepees or yurts. These temporary shelters, constructed using wooden poles and animal hides, allowed groups to follow migrating herds while maintaining comfortable living conditions. Recent underwater archaeological discoveries have revealed evidence of prehistoric coastal settlements, now submerged due to rising sea levels. These communities often combine natural rock formations with constructed elements to create effective shelters near rich marine resources. Natural caves were indeed the prehistoric equivalent of premium real estate, but not for the reasons we might assume. The best caves offered natural security features, stable microclimates, protection from extreme weather, acoustic properties beneficial for communication and ritual activities, natural water sources, multiple chambers allowing for spatial organization. Competition for these premium locations was likely intense, leading to complex social negotiations and possibly conflicts between groups. Evidence suggests that prime cave locations were occupied repeatedly over thousands of years, sometimes by different groups in succession. The diversity of dwelling types reveals our ancestors' remarkable ability to adapt to different environments and climates. They didn't simply settle for whatever shelter was available. They actively modified and improved their living spaces, showing levels of planning and engineering that were sophisticated for their time. This variety in prehistoric housing demonstrates that our ancestors were innovative problem solvers who could adapt their living situations to whatever environment they encountered. Far from being simple cave dwellers, they were skilled architects and builders who created diverse solutions to meet their housing needs across different landscapes and climates. Let's take a fascinating tour through a typical Paleolithic cave. What you're about to discover will challenge everything you thought you knew about prehistoric living spaces. The entrance zone of these caves served as the hub of daily activities and work. Here, our ancestors took advantage of natural daylight for crafting tools, processing animal hides, and conducting tasks that required detailed vision. Archaeological evidence shows dedicated workspaces where tool-making debris accumulated over generations. This area also acted as a transitional space, protecting deeper cave sections from harsh weather while maintaining a comfortable temperature gradient. Moving into the intermediate area, we find what archaeologists identify as the social and dining spaces. This middle section typically contained the main hearth, the prehistoric equivalent of our modern living room and kitchen combined. The positioning of these hearths was remarkably sophisticated, often placed where air currents would naturally draw smoke out of the cave while maximizing heat distribution. Around these fires, communities would gather to share meals, tell stories, and engage in social bonding activities. Evidence of food preparation, including burned bones and cooking stones, consistently appears in these middle sections. The deepest sections of inhabited caves reveal our ancestors' most intimate and sacred spaces. These areas, protected from external elements and often in complete darkness, were reserved for sleeping quarters and ritual activities. Archaeological findings show that these deeper chambers often contain the most impressive cave paintings and spiritual artifacts. The consistent temperature and humidity in these areas also made them ideal for rest and storage of valuable items. What's particularly fascinating is how our ancestors used natural cave features to their advantage. They positioned sleeping areas on slightly elevated surfaces to avoid cold air pools, utilized natural rock formations as storage spaces, and even created designated areas for waste disposal, showing a remarkable understanding of hygiene and spatial organization. The cave's natural acoustics were also considered in this organization. Many ritual spaces were positioned where sound would resonate in particular ways, creating natural amphitheaters for ceremonies and social gatherings. Some caves even show evidence of early sound manipulation through strategically placed stones and barriers. Perhaps most surprising is the discovery of what appears to be intentional renovations, where cave dwellers modified their living spaces by leveling floors, creating stone platforms, and even carving small niches into walls for storage or lighting devices. These modifications demonstrate a sophisticated understanding of living space optimization that rivals modern architectural planning. Through this careful organization of space, our ancestors created fully functional homes that served their communities for thousands of years. They understood the principles of workflow, comfort, and the importance of separating functional spaces, concepts we still apply in modern home design today. This complex spatial organization challenges the notion that prehistoric humans were primitive or disorganized. Instead, it reveals them as thoughtful architects of their living spaces, carefully balancing practical needs with social and spiritual requirements. Their solutions to living challenges were often ingenious, making maximum use of available space and natural cave features to create comfortable, functional homes. What's most remarkable is how many of these organizational principles parallel our modern use of space. From the public areas near entrances to private spaces deeper inside, from dedicated workspaces to communal gathering areas. These prehistoric cave homes tell a story not of primitive survival, but of sophisticated spatial awareness and community planning that laid the groundwork for human architectural development. Are you enjoying these discoveries? Leave them in the comments. Would you live in a prehistoric cave? And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the Dawn of Humankind channel. The remarkable story of cave life has been pieced together through meticulous archaeological investigation. The evidence preserved in these natural time capsules provides fascinating insights into the daily lives of our ancestors. Dark soil patches discovered in cave floors tell compelling stories about ancient hearths. These fireplaces leave distinctive signatures in the soil, not just darkened earth, but complex layers containing charcoal, ash, and burned bone fragments. Through advanced chemical analysis, archaeologists can determine what types of wood were burned, what foods were cooked, and even estimate how long these hearths were in use. Some sites reveal sophisticated hearth construction, with stone borders and purposefully placed ventilation channels. The lithic scatter patterns, concentrations of stone flakes and tools, provide detailed information about tool-making workshops. These areas often contain thousands of tiny stone fragments, cores, and unfinished tools, revealing the entire manufacturing process. Analysis of these debris patterns shows that our ancestors created designated workspaces, similar to modern workshops, where they could effectively manage their tool-making activities. The distribution of different-sized flakes even indicates where the toolmaker sat and how they oriented their work. The discovery of pigments and paintings offers incredible insights into artistic and ritual spaces. Archaeological evidence includes not just the famous cave paintings, but also grinding stones with traces of ochre, containers of mixed pigments, and even prehistoric paint brushes made from animal hair and plant fibers. Spectrographic analysis reveals sophisticated mixing techniques, showing that our ancestors combined different minerals to create specific colors and textures. Food preparation areas are identified through collections of bones and food remains. These kitchen spaces contain a wealth of information. Burned bones indicate cooking methods, cut marks reveal butchering techniques, and the types of bones present show hunting patterns and dietary preferences. Microscopic analysis of these areas has even revealed traces of plant materials, providing evidence of a diverse diet that included both meat and vegetation. The identification of sleeping areas represents one of archaeology's most fascinating achievements. These spaces are recognized through several subtle indicators: compacted earth showing regular pressure patterns, concentrations of small bone fragments that accumulated under sleeping mats, and even microscopic traces of human hair and skin cells. In some cases, archaeologists have found evidence of purposefully constructed sleeping platforms, with deliberately leveled surfaces and remnants of bedding materials. Activity areas can be mapped through microdebris analysis. This involves studying the distribution of tiny fragments that became embedded in cave floors. Different activities created distinctive patterns. Tool making produced one type of debris pattern, while food preparation created another. These patterns help archaeologists understand how space was organized and used. Chemical analysis of cave floors provides additional evidence through phosphate mapping. Human occupation leaves distinct chemical signatures in the soil. Areas of high phosphate concentration often indicate waste disposal sites or animal penning areas, while different chemical signatures can identify food preparation zones. The study of cave sediments reveals chronological information through stratigraphy, the layering of deposits over time. Each layer contains evidence of human occupation, including artifacts, organic materials, and environmental indicators. Modern dating techniques, including radiocarbon dating and thermoluminescence, allow archaeologists to establish precise chronologies for these occupational layers. Use-ware analysis of cave walls and floors shows how spaces were utilized over time. Smooth areas on cave walls might indicate where people regularly leaned or rested, while worn paths in the floor reveal common movement patterns. Even the placement of stalactites and stalagmites was sometimes intentionally modified to create more usable space. Perhaps most remarkably, DNA analysis of sediments can now reveal not just the presence of humans, but also identify different human species that occupied the same caves at different times. This genetic evidence, combined with traditional archaeological methods, provides an increasingly detailed picture of prehistoric cave life. Through the combination of these various lines of evidence, archaeologists can reconstruct not just the physical layout of prehistoric cave dwellings, but also the daily activities, social organizations, and cultural practices of our ancestors. Each piece of evidence, no matter how small, contributes to our understanding of how these sophisticated early humans organized and utilized their living spaces. Some archaeological discoveries about prehistoric cave life are truly mind-bending, challenging our perceptions of early human ingenuity and sophistication. One of the most astounding discoveries involves the use of mammoth bones as building materials. In several Eastern European sites, particularly in Ukraine and Russia, archaeologists have uncovered elaborate structures where mammoth bones were used as room dividers and structural supports. These weren't simple arrangements, they were carefully engineered systems. The bones were selected for specific shapes and sizes, interlocked like prehistoric Lincoln logs, and often arranged in complex patterns that maximized structural stability. At the Mazyrik site in Ukraine, researchers found a dwelling where mammoth skulls were used as corner supports, with smaller bones and tusks creating walls between them. These structures could span impressive distances and support considerable weight. The engineering knowledge required to create such stable structures suggests sophisticated architectural understanding that predates our traditional timeline for the development of construction techniques. The concept of continuous cave occupation spanning 100,000 years or more seems almost impossible to grasp, yet archaeological evidence confirms this remarkable phenomenon. The Wonderwork Cave in South Africa shows evidence of human occupation dating back nearly 2 million years, with regular occupation spans of hundreds of thousands of years. Each layer of sediment tells its own story, revealing how different human species used the same spaces across vast periods of time. The Denisova cave in Siberia presents another fascinating example, where three different human species, Denisovans, Neanderthals, and modern humans, occupied the same space over different periods. This continuous occupation left a detailed record of human evolution and technological development in a single location. Perhaps one of the most sophisticated aspects of prehistoric cave dwelling was the strategic use of natural ventilation systems. Our ancestors demonstrated remarkable understanding of airflow dynamics, choosing caves with natural chimney effects that would draw smoke out while maintaining comfortable interior temperatures. In some caves, archaeological evidence shows that inhabitants modified natural airflows by creating additional openings or blocking certain passages. They understood how to use the stack effect, where warm air rises and cool air sinks, to create comfortable living environments deep within the caves. Some sites show evidence of sophisticated smoke management systems, where multiple chambers and passages were used to direct smoke away from living areas. The acoustic properties of many ceremonial cave chambers show evidence of intentional selection for their sound qualities. Some caves have spots where sound resonates in particular ways, and archaeological evidence suggests these areas were used for ceremonies and musical performances. In several caves, archaeologists have found evidence of prehistoric lighting systems, carefully placed stone lamps filled with animal fat and using plant fiber wicks. The positioning of these lamps shows sophisticated understanding of light distribution and cave acoustics. Some cave sites reveal evidence of water management systems, where natural underground streams were redirected or contained for easy access. Stone basins and channels carved into cave floors demonstrate early hydraulic engineering. Evidence exists of prehistoric climate control methods, where cave dwellers would block or unblock certain passages seasonally to regulate temperature and airflow. Some caves show signs of seasonal occupation patterns, with different areas used during different times of the year to maximize comfort. In several locations, researchers have found evidence of prehistoric storage systems, natural refrigeration areas where the constant cool temperature of deep cave sections was used to preserve food and other perishables. Archaeological findings suggest that some caves served as prehistoric trading hubs, with artifacts from distant regions concentrated in specific areas, indicating organized commerce and cultural exchange. Many caves show evidence of sophisticated waste management systems, with designated areas for disposal and natural drainage systems utilized to maintain cleanliness. The discovery of children's footprints preserved in cave clay provides touching evidence of family life, showing that these spaces were true homes where multiple generations lived together. These remarkable findings continue to reshape our understanding of prehistoric human capabilities. Far from being primitive shelter seekers, our ancestors were sophisticated engineers and environmental managers who could identify and maximize the natural advantages of their chosen habitats. Their solutions to complex living challenges often parallel modern architectural and engineering principles, demonstrating that human ingenuity has deep prehistoric roots. The archaeological evidence from prehistoric cave dwellings offers profound insights into our human journey. These discoveries shatter our preconceptions and reveal important truths about our ancestors and ourselves. Looking at the sophisticated spatial organization of these cave homes reveals that our ancestors possessed remarkable planning abilities. They weren't merely seeking shelter from the elements, they were creating structured living spaces that served multiple purposes. Their careful designation of areas for specific activities mirrors our modern understanding of functional space design. The strategic placement of hearths demonstrates an intuitive grasp of thermodynamics and comfort control. Their understanding of ventilation and heat distribution shows that comfort wasn't a modern invention, but a fundamental human concern. These early humans were master environmental engineers, working with natural cave features to create optimal living conditions. The discovery of dedicated workspaces, storage areas, and social gathering spots reveals a deep appreciation for organized living. These weren't simple refuges, but carefully planned homes where families thrived and communities flourished. The presence of art spaces and ritual areas speaks to their recognition that a home must nourish both body and spirit. Perhaps most striking is their resource management expertise. From water collection systems to waste disposal areas, our ancestors displayed remarkable foresight in maintaining sustainable living spaces. They understood the delicate balance between human needs and environmental constraints, a lesson that resonates powerfully in our modern context. These cave dwellings tell us that the fundamental aspects of home, security, comfort, functionality, and social connection, have remained remarkably consistent throughout human history. Our ancestors weren't just surviving, they were creating spaces that promoted family life, cultural expression, and community bonds. The sophisticated use of natural features and materials demonstrates that innovation isn't unique to modern times. Our ancestors were creative problem solvers who could adapt and modify their environment while working within its natural constraints. Their solutions often displayed remarkable elegance and efficiency. The long-term occupation of these caves, sometimes spanning thousands of years, speaks to the sustainability of their living practices. They developed systems that could be maintained and improved over generations, showing a deep understanding of long-term planning and resource management. In studying these ancient homes, we're reminded that the basic human desire for an ordered, comfortable, and meaningful living space is part of our evolutionary heritage. Our ancestors weren't primitive cave dwellers but sophisticated architects of their environment, creating spaces that served both practical and spiritual needs. These discoveries challenge us to reconsider our assumptions about human progress. While our technology has advanced dramatically, our fundamental needs and desires remain remarkably similar to those of our cave-dwelling ancestors. They too sought security, comfort, and a sense of home, and found innovative ways to achieve these goals with the resources available to them. The legacy of these prehistoric cave homes continues to resonate in modern architecture and design. Many of their solutions to common living challenges, from temperature control to space organization, parallel principles we still use today. In this way, our ancient ancestors continue to influence how we think about and create living spaces in the modern world. As we conclude our journey through prehistoric cave life, it's time to forever change how we view our ancient ancestors. The evidence speaks clearly. These weren't primitive beings huddling in dark caves, but sophisticated individuals who created complex, organized living spaces that served as the foundation for human civilization. These cave dwellers were the world's first architects, interior designers, and space planners. They understood principles of thermal efficiency, utilized natural lighting, and created distinct zones for different activities, concepts that modern architects still employ today. Their careful organization of living spaces reveals a deep understanding of human needs and community dynamics. The prehistoric caves they inhabited weren't just random shelters, but carefully selected and modified environments that served as true homes. Within these spaces, they raised families, created art, developed technologies, and built communities. Each cave tells a story of human ingenuity, adaptation, and the universal desire to create comfortable, functional living spaces. The next time you hear the term caveman, remember that you're hearing about some of humanity's first engineers and designers. These individuals didn't just survive, they thrived, creating sophisticated living solutions that still influence how we think about spatial organization and home design today. Their legacy lives on in every carefully planned living space, in every home that balances functionality with comfort, and in every architectural design that considers human needs and environmental factors. The story of cave life is not just about survival, it's about the birth of human innovation and design thinking. We've journeyed through time to discover that our ancestors were far more sophisticated than we ever imagined. They weren't just existing in caves, they were creating homes filled with meaning, purpose, and careful planning. Their story is our story, a testament to human ingenuity and our eternal drive to create comfortable, organized living spaces. If this journey into the past has sparked your curiosity about human prehistory, there's so much more to discover. Join our community at the dawn of humankind by subscribing to our channel. By clicking that subscribe button, you'll ensure you never miss our future explorations into humanity's fascinating past. Share this video with friends who appreciate history, architecture, or anyone who's curious about how our ancestors really lived. Every like and share helps spread this important message about our remarkable prehistoric heritage. What aspect of cave life surprised you the most? Was it their sophisticated spatial organization, their advanced understanding of ventilation, or perhaps their artistic expressions? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear which discoveries changed your perspective on prehistoric life. Remember to turn on notifications by clicking the bell icon. This way, You'll be the first to know when we release new content about human prehistory and archaeological discoveries that continue to reshape our understanding of our ancestors. Join us next time as we continue to uncover the remarkable story of human development. From all of us at the dawn of humankind, thank you for being part of this journey through time. Together, we're rewriting the story of human prehistory, one discovery at a time.